You know the feeling, right? You're stuck in a rut, you watch some incredible, inspiring video, you get that huge rush of motivation, and then you do absolutely nothing. We've all been there. But what if there was a way to actually break that cycle for good? Well, today we're going to skip the hype and the quick fixes and get into the real science of building willpower that actually lasts. First things first, we've got to understand the problem that keeps so many of us spinning our wheels. It's a pattern so common it even has a name: the motivation trap. And man, this quote from Brian Johnson just absolutely nails it. See, that good feeling you get from watching someone else succeed? It's a trick. It's a substitute for you doing the actual work. Your brain gets the emotional reward, that little hit of dopamine, without any of the effort. And that's what keeps you stuck right where you are. So here's the key takeaway. The problem isn't that we need another productivity hack or some new inspiring speech. Most of us are just totally overstimulated. Our biology is all out of whack. The answer isn't more information. It's a real system to get ourselves back into alignment. So, how do we do that? Well, the answer is hiding in a really surprising place. Okay, so if more motivation isn't the answer, then what is? It turns out the solution is deep inside our own brains. There's a specific little area that acts just like a muscle for willpower. Neuroscientists call it the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, or AMCC for short. And here's the wild part. Recent studies are showing that this little piece of your brain isn't just about willpower. It might be the actual source of our will to live. I mean, how crazy is that? It's literally bigger in athletes and people who push through challenges, and it shrinks in people who don't. Okay, but this is the insight from neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman that changes the entire game. That willpower muscle, it doesn't grow when you do something hard that you secretly kind of like. No, it only gets stronger when you do something that you are actively, genuinely resisting, something you really, really do not want to do. Think about it like this. You hate ice baths, so you force yourself to do one. Your AMC gets a great workout. But the second you start to actually like the feeling, the second it becomes easy for you, it stops building willpower. The effort alone isn't what does it. It's that internal friction, that voice in your head screaming, "Oh, I do not want to do this." That is the critical ingredient that makes it grow. And really, who could sum this up better than David Goggins? This is the ultimate anti-hack. The whole point is to stop looking for the easy way out. The real hack is to embrace the suck. Because that friction, that's exactly where all the growth is. Okay, so we get the science, we know it's gotta be hard, but how do we actually put this into practice? Let's walk through a blueprint for systematically training that willpower muscle day in and day out. Now, this framework, which is adapted from Brian Johnson's work, isn't about having the perfect morning routine. Not at all. It's about making a series of choices that create productive friction. Choosing to prioritize sleep over scrolling on your phone? That's hard. Moving your body when you're tired and just want to sit on the couch? Also hard. Choosing real food over junk food? You get the idea. Every single one of those choices is another rep for your AMC. Now, theory is one thing, but what does this look like in the real world with all its messiness? Let's dive into a 30-day experiment that really puts all this to the test. Okay, so this is Cam from the YouTube channel Goal Guys. He was in a pretty bad slump, low energy, terrible focus, and he decided to go all in on a 30-day routine inspired by Dr. Huberman. And what's so fascinating is that it kind of worked. His energy got better, his mood improved, but his main problem, his work productivity, was actually getting worse. He was doing all the hard things, and he was still failing. And he hit this absolute low point where he started to feel like, maybe this is just who I am. Maybe I'm just not wired for this kind of focus. And that feeling that you're trying so hard and it's not working, and that maybe you're just broken, that's a struggle so many of us know all too well. But then he had a breakthrough, a real aha moment. The problem wasn't his 90-minute block of focused work. The problem was what he was doing right before it. He was scrolling on his phone during his morning walk, right up until the second he sat down at his desk. He was basically training his brain, warming it up to crave distraction, and then was shocked when he couldn't focus. That was his real point of friction. And as soon as he identified and fought that specific battle, just keeping his phone off until his work was done, everything changed. And just look at the result. His daily energy levels shot up by almost 2 full points. That's a huge difference. He wasn't just feeling better, he was finally performing better, all because he found and won the fight against his real point of resistance. So this brings us to the ultimate point of all this. The cold showers, the workouts, the routines, they aren't actually the goal. They're just the tools we use to build something much, much deeper. You see, the real currency of change isn't motivation, it's self-trust. It has nothing to do with big, grand announcements about how you're going to change your life. It's all about the quiet, consistent, day after day act of just showing up for yourself, especially on the days you don't feel like it. And this is how you build it. Every single time you choose that productive discomfort over the easy escape, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're proving to yourself on a biological level that you can count on yourself. And that trust, that becomes the rock-solid foundation that you can build absolutely anything on. So forget about trying to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Let's make this real right now. The work starts today with just one small promise. Maybe it's putting your phone in another room for an hour. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk when you don't want to. Or maybe it's just skipping that sugary drink. So the real question is, what's the one small, uncomfortable thing you're going to choose to do today?